Thank you for joining us on NTA Nationwide. I am Ifeanyi Okafor. The alleged prime suspect in one of the Nyanya bombings of 2014 has been set free by an Abuja Federal High Court. The case that was filed against him by the police was struck out some minutes ago by Justice Adeni Ademola for lack of evidence before the court. Details of this story will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, Nigeria has called on the member countries of the Lake Chad Basin Commission and Benin to intensify collaborative efforts and be cohesive in the ongoing fight against terrorism, lest it consumes the sub-region. The Minister of Defense gave this charge in a message to the 4th meeting of the Ministers of Defense, Chiefs of Defense Staff, Heads of Intelligence and Security of the Lake Chad Basin Commission member countries and Benin in Abuja. Defense correspondent KG Busari Ahmed has the details.
Alex Badi said the attack of Boko Haram insurgency on Nigeria and her border communities has led to the underdevelopment and untold hardship on the citizens.
We continue to condemn the reprehensive and atrocious activities of Boko Haram in our countries. This, therefore, brings to the fore the urgent need for close collaboration between us to curb this menace.
Today's meeting provides us another opportunity to finalize our plans for taking collective measures in the ongoing war against terrorism.
The meeting is to harmonize various agreements reached during the Heads of State Security meeting in Niamey, Chiefs of Defense in Cameroon, and Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the Commission in Abuja. KG Busari Ahmed, NTA News.
Away from security to politics now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has declined jurisdiction on the various PDP Ward Delegates Congress cases that were filed before it. In a judgment delivered on the Delegates Congress of the party in 3 states, Justice Adeni Ademola said the process was an internal party affair. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
The judgment involved complaints filed from Cross River, Enugu and Ebonyi states over their PDP ward congresses. While in some cases, plaintiffs came to court wanting a judicial upturning of the results of the Congress, in other instances, the plaintiffs came asking for a confirmation of the delegates list. In all the cases, the effect of Justice Adeni Ademola declining jurisdiction were the same. The delegates list remains unchanged as the court said that the process remains the exclusive preserve of the political party.
But what we have in this dispensation is a bit worse. We haven't even gotten to the stage of the primary. It's like the electoral college system at its incipient stage. Election of delegates, that is a bit beyond what the Electoral Act had anticipated.
What was an issue here was what's called a pre-primary matter, and the courts have no jurisdiction there at all. We're talking of election of ward delegates and preparations for elections. No, the courts cannot do. These are internal affairs of a political party.
There are, however, still many more such cases before the court. Ondo and Akwa Ibom adopted their processes on Monday, with the judgment reserved to beat the next level of the PDP Congress. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Gubernatorial aspirants under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, North Central Geopolitical Zone, are being screened and issued certificate of clearance. Correspondent Gabriel Odu reports that those screened are optimistic of victory in their states.
The Presidential Campaign Headquarters, Legacy House, is the venue for the screening of the gubernatorial aspirants from the North Central Zone. Some of the aspirants say they are committed to bringing change and development to their states if elected.
Our chances are very bright. This is not the first time we'll be going into battle, and so I have the magic. I will apply it again. Thank you.
To change the profile of the way things are done in national states, and to see that we have greater order and respect for the sanctity of human being.
And I'm prepared to provide the kind of leadership that is required to make Plateau a hub of developmental innovation.
Human capital development is what this is about, and this is what I'm bringing and I'm about to offer.
The screening exercise is a continuous one to promote internal party democracy. From the Legacy House in Abuja, Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the People's Democratic Party in Kefi local government area of Nasarawa State, during a sensitization rally, pledges total support to the party's candidates at all levels in the forthcoming general elections. Correspondent Suleiman Ove Musa has details.
Speaking at the rally, PDP members who turned out en masse said the party achieved a lot under President Goodluck Jonathan's transformation agenda, and the party remains popular at the grassroots.
PDP has always been with the grassroots. It has always been part of the grassroots. I am PDP, and you know I have been with the grassroots. The fact that I lost the election in 2011, I still remain with my people. PDP is the party of the grassroots, is the party with the grassroots, and the party for the grassroots.
PDP will take back her power position from 2015 at National State.
On the nullification of the chairmanship election earlier won by the party, PDP Secretary Kefi Local Government Area Sani Muhammad said the State Appeal Tribunal upturned their victory and the will of the electorate. In Kefi, Suleiman Ove Musa, NTA News.
And from Taraba State comes this report that the reinstated State Deputy Governor Alhaji Sani Abubakar Danladi has assured the people of the state of fairness and all-inclusive leadership in all spheres of the state. The Deputy Governor was speaking in Government House, Jalingo, shortly after his assumption of office. Correspondent Ado Adamu completes the story.
Addressing the people of the state, Alhaji Abubakar Sani Danladi called for their support and solidarity to move the state forward. While announcing the dissolution of all political appointments from November 2012, he said he is going to be loyal to his principal, Governor Dambaba Suntai, in the discharge of his duties.
As a people that are brought together by God, Tarabas must eschew all forms of bitterness, especially the ugly monsters of tribal and religious differences.
The Deputy Governor expressed concern over the incessant killing witnessed in some parts of the state in recent times, calling on all to join efforts to end the situation, particularly traditional and religious leaders. Sani Abubakar Danladi was reinstated as the State Deputy Governor by the Supreme Court over 2 years after his impeachment by the State House of Assembly in Jalingo. Ado Adamu also, NTA News.
Back to security matters, as a report just reaching us says 18 suspects are now helping the police in their investigations into recent political violence in Ibadan, Oyo State. We will bring you details in our subsequent reports. And it's time now to join Demola in our Lagos Network studio on their lineup, assessment of the continuous voter registration in Ogun State, plus other reports. Over to you, Demola.
Ifeanyi, good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. The Oduduwa Development Initiative, an association of Yoruba professionals and businessmen, says former President Olusegun Obasanjo's assessment of President Goodluck Jonathan's performance of being below average does not represent the realities on ground in the present-day Nigeria. The patron of the association, Mr. Yinka Odumaki, at a media briefing in Lagos, says former President Olusegun Obasanjo is not fair to the present administration and advised him to desist from making provocative statements on critical national issues. The report will come to you in our subsequent bulletins. The just concluded voters registration exercise in Ogun East Senatorial District has been described as not too impressive. Some stakeholders expressed this while reviewing the conduct of the exercise by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Yemi Dalimo reports.
At the registration center visited on the last day of the exercise in Ijebu, Odogbolu, Ijebu East, Ijebu North East, and Shagamu local government areas, some of the eligible voters expressed displeasure over some challenges ranging from erratic performance of the laptops, scanners, to inability of the ad hoc staff to laminate the temporary voters card.
Five of my pekin, they not get a chance to do it since.
We are still pleading to the federal government to extend that date beyond the date given to us, just 2 days. Even they can still do it till January.
This type of exercise ought to be truly continuous. If people are still coming out, we should continue registering them. because it's their inalienable right.
It is, however, observed that in order not to disenfranchise some eligible voters in the coming general elections, INEC needs to devise another workable plan to accommodate those who could not participate in the exercise for one reason or the other, and those who will turn 18 a month before the general elections. In Djibouti, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
As the 2015 general elections draw closer, Nigerian youths have been advised to shun acts of terrorism and avoid being used as political thugs. The U.S. Consul General Jeffrey Hawkins gave the advice at a youth sensitization workshop in Lagos put together by the African Youth Initiative for Crime Prevention and the American Embassy in Nigeria. The report.
Speaking on the theme, Youth's Political Participation and its Implication on Development, the U.S. Consul General urged the participants to remain focused and committed to their dreams and aspirations, as they are the future of the nation. He also added that Nigerian youths must engage in positive activities that will foster peace and unity in order to reap the dividends of democracy.
There cannot be good elections in the midst of violence. This has to be a nonviolent process, and that's what you all are so focused on. This country is about young people.
What we are trying to do is to bridge that gap, is to create a wall so that the politicians will do their own, the youth will do our own. We will now exchange values.
Participants who were drawn from the 36 states as well as the FCT called on the government to put in place programs that will assist Nigerian youths become responsible citizens.
The Youth Council has taken it upon ourselves to establish the largest kind of awareness and advocacy creation initiative so that young people can know that political violence has a lot of negative consequences on us.
Issues bordering on electoral processes, youth empowerment, education and security formed the topics of discourse at the workshop.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has been adjudged the most watched television station in Nigeria in 2014. This was decided at this year's edition of the Most Trusted Brand Awards. Amechi Pius has details of the award presentation in Lagos.
The Most Trusted Brand Awards is a private initiative aimed at rewarding hard work and loyalty. The award is presented to products, groups, and organizations that have delivered on their promises to consumers. According to the initiator of the awards, Ima Udowo Ima, the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, was the most preferred television station in other parts of the country, apart from Lagos and Abuja, in 2014. The award was received on behalf of the Director General of the NTA by NTA's Deputy Director News, Ademola Oladoshu.
This will further embolden us to further extend the frontiers of excellent television broadcasting, commitment to national unity and stability, and of course, excellent service to Nigerians and far beyond the shores of Nigeria.
If you look at the sample size, it's not only impressive, but by and large, in a couple of years to come, we'll be able to cover the whole 36 plus Abuja, and the population will be bigger.
In his keynote address, a business development expert, Kola Oyeyemi, decried the absence of values and good morals in the society. He challenged Nigerians, especially those in leadership positions, to be honest.
Where there is no accountability, a culture of impunity festers. Where there are no consequences for failure of promise delivery, there is no impetus to live by your words.
Mr. Oyeyemi identified lack of trust among individuals, organizations and government at all levels as the bane of the nation's development and growth. This is the 5th edition of the Most Trusted Brand Awards. In Lagos, Amechi Pius, NTA News.
And that's our package from Lagos. Is back to Ifeanyi for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Ademola. The Federal Inland Revenue Service says it will continue to support the federal government to deliver on its budget mandate. Coordinating Director in charge of Standard and Compliance in the service, Ogungbeso Samuel, joined by other stakeholders, stated this while featuring on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria. Timothy Yusuf reports.
We have how much we are expected based on the 2014 budget to deliver.
and we have continued to deliver it. So for us, we will continue to support the federal government.
Coordinating Director, Standard and Compliance, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Ogungbeson Samuel, restating the service commitment towards supporting the federal. To FIRS, he said taxation can be effectively administered to scale up internally generated revenue towards boosting economic development of the nation.
Further, we're able to organize the various trade sectors now, and we are able to parley with them. At the moment, they are all scattered. They are doing businesses carelessly. They are not reporting revenue. But now, we have identified them through their trade associations. So those are the medium through which we'll reach them. And they are ready to work with their people too. Now, we'll prescribe a particular rate of tax for each of those sectors based on the propensity and ability to be able to pay. We have an idea of what they are doing.
The president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, Chief Makanthony Dike, and Dr. Abiola Sani, a lecturer at the University of Lagos, believe that not having a clean-cut difference between taxes and levies coupled with multiple taxation are impediments to effective taxation.
In any civilized society, there is absolutely no reason why people should complain, because people have to make a contribution. That's what tax is a contribution that everybody has to make to the common pool. And since all of us belong to this society, each according to his means must make a contribution. And then the government, when we have entrusted the responsibility, we now put those resources to provide those public goods and services, which we as individuals may not provide for ourselves. And if we are capable of doing so, then there will be chaos and anarchy.
There must be political will on the part of the government, first and foremost. And that's the starting point.
The call on states to professionalize their internally revenue generation system as obtained in Lagos State. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan's vision of galvanizing indigenous participation of Nigerians in the oil and gas sector through the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board policy is yielding the desired result. This was the consensus of industry players at the Practical Nigerian Content Conference in Yenagoa. Aya Prezi reports.
The signing of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Content Development Bill created opportunity for local participation in different phases of oil and gas industry. The key driver of the policy, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, as part of its oversight functions, provided an interface for the industry players to share experiences. The governor of Bayelsa State, Sireka Dixon, commended President Goodluck Jonathan for nurturing the development in the sector.
The local content development policy has really impacted positively on our economy.
Minister of Petroleum, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, commended the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board for championing the success of the content policy. While the Executive Secretary of the Board, Mr. Ernest Nwapa, outlined benefits of the Nigerian content policy to include exploit in the areas of shipping, manufacturing, and fabrication, amongst others.
We have a stream of over 7,000 participants on an ongoing basis.
The industry players are strategizing to entrench production of components required in the industry by local manufacturers.
Youths advocate credible candidates for 2015 and health package for mothers and children launched in Plateau State. Details of these and more with Miriam in our Just Network Center.
Hello, Ifeanyi. Good afternoon. You're welcome to JOS. President Goodluck Jonathan says the federal government is working hard to end terrorism in the country and make it safe for all Nigerians. The president said this in a message to the graduation of the Senior Executive Course 36 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSCURU. Correspondent Ben Mito reports that the president was represented by the Plateau State Governor, Jonah David Jang.
Amidst the spate of terrorist activities in the country, President Jonathan said the transformation agenda has made tremendous impact in the areas of railway rehabilitation, airports remodeling, power sector reform, agriculture, road construction, and the education sector, among others.
We are today facing the evil of insecurity created by acts and threats of terror by some individuals who wish to impose non-inclusive and violent ideology on the rest of Nigeria.
Government, President Jonathan noted, has taken steps to implement the report of the National Conference with a view to strengthening the bonds of unity among the people. Director General of the Institute, Professor Tijani Muhammad Bandi, said the Institute will continue to provide credible decisions, ideas, and advice to the government.
We have never been told what to advise government. We have always said to the government what we believed as an institute to be true. We thank everybody for maintaining that tradition of independence.
While launching participants into the Institute's Alumni Association, President of the body, Major General Lawrence Onoja, urged the participants to serve with dedication, integrity, and high sense of responsibility, as the nation expects a lot from them. The 65 participants spent the last 10 months brainstorming on the theme, industrial relations, labor productivity, and national development. In Jos, Ben Mitu, NTA News.
Stakeholders in Plateau State have been urged to contribute positively towards issues of maternal health for the general well-being of women and children. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Fom Dakwak, gave the advice at the launch of a project, Family Health Plus, in collaboration with a non-governmental organization. Correspondent Adamu Haruna Adams has details.
The Family Health Plus project is an initiative which seeks to, among other things, solicit support of governments, communities, and other relevant stakeholders to bring to the front burner issues of reproductive health services in the society. The project, if properly implemented, is expected to ensure improved maternal and child health in the state. State Commissioner for Health, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Elias Pede, who flagged off the project, call on all stakeholders in the state to contribute to its success.
The support of all our services needed to encourage women of childbearing age and nursing mothers to demand and life-family planning child spacing services, provided at health facilities at all times to reduce maternal and child deaths.
Dr. Pedi also noted that the Plateau State government signed the 2-year MOU with Mary Stopes International Organization as part of efforts to ensure quality family planning and child spacing services, as well as address other health challenges affecting women and children. Country Director of Mary Stopes International, who was represented by Kunle Dehinsili, said a good number of service providers will be trained to ensure that women have equal access to family planning services in the state.
We are aware that there are some locations that are very difficult to access such locations. So what we are trying to say is that the woman in locations like Kwa will have equal access to quality family planning services, just like the woman.
Wife of the Plateau State Governor, represented by the Commissioner for Women Affairs, Mrs. Sarah Yusuf, lauded the project and called on women in the state to embrace it. In Jos, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
The Bauchi State Youth Mobilization Forum of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has advocated the nomination of credible candidates that will bear the party's flag in 2015 general elections. Correspondent Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports that the Youth Forum made their position known when they visited the Government House, Bauchi.
The Bauchi Youth Mobilization Forum took to the streets of the state capital in a peaceful demonstration calling on the leadership of the People's Democratic Party to provide a level playing ground for aspirants to enable the party succeed in the 2015 general election. Chairman of the forum, Suleiman Ahmad, who reiterated their support and loyalty to the party, said any attempt by the party's leadership to impose candidate on its members might affect the party's position in the forthcoming general elections. According to him, as stakeholders, the forum is committed towards ensuring that PDP emerge victorious comes 2015. He therefore emphasized on the need to ensure that only people with good programs that will bring development are nominated for the progress of the nation and the party. Addressing the forum, Senior Special Assistant to Governor Isai Guda on political matters, Alhaji Garba Aliyu assured the youths that their message will be channeled to the appropriate authority and urged them to always conduct themselves in a peaceful manner and be good ambassadors of Bauchi State and the PDP. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
That's a wrap from here. It's all yours, Ifeanyi.
Many thanks, Miriam. This is NTA Nationwide. We'll take some messages now and more reports shortly.
Excuse me. What people are looking for in Sokoto, we are having Sokoto. Good luck are what every parent and wish is picking. In school, in business, in life. Everybody are looking for good luck. Every country are looking for good luck. In World Cup tournament, good luck. Or Louis are come back to life. Good luck. The schools are now bracketed all over to betterment the future of Almajiris. Good luck. Our universities are properly funded. Good luck. My dear brothers of the north, are you see what I'm saying? Agriculture are now walk over. And 33 modern dams are ready for farmers. Good luck. Fertilizers are purchased for almost free of charge. FOC. I am talking of power supply. That power reform are make steady supply of light every daily. Let us thank Chineke God. Power good luck. Good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. TAN for One Vision, Nigeria.
A 3-day stakeholders conference is being organized by the Ministry of Police Affairs with the theme Improving Federal Government Internally Generated Revenue, IGR, Nigerian Police Services in Focus. The conference will be declared open by the Honorable Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Abdul Jalili Oyewale Adesina. Date 25th to 27th November 2014. Time 9 a.m. daily. Venue Ajiji Hotel, Gudedi Street, Abuja. Dr. James Obiegbu, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
Transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Growing small and medium-scale enterprises for economic transformation is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live, educative, informative, and enlightening. Don't miss it. Join us.
100% efficiency.
Many people, different tribes, different tongues.
100% productivity. 100% Nigerian. At Kakatar, we have set the record for being the first indigenous company to build a major bridge in Abuja using wholly Nigerian engineers. This bridge connects two highlands over a deep gulf. This is the dream of our founding fathers. Kakatar.
Paul Enenche.
For sponsorship details, call 0803-303-7678
0803-704-3300
or 0802-722-2869.
Coming live on Radio Nigeria, NTA and Voice of Nigeria, Sunday, December 14, 2014.
The FRCN, NTA and VON annual service of 9 lessons and Christmas carols.
Making Christmas memorable for you.
Good to have you back on NTA Nationwide. Now, the legacies of late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe has continued to generate interest among the academia and political parties in the country. Daniel Ukbai reports that benefiting from the enduring legacies of the late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was the theme of the 3rd Zik annual lecture series held at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University Auditorium.
This lecture series established in his name to honor his memory and his legacy is a very fitting initiative. The right has to be found, similarly at the forefront, similarly arrowhead of the mission of enlightenment. And I take things always to remind us that we do have partners in crime outside what are generally known as the hearts.
The benefactor of the ZIG's annual lecture series, Senator Ndiobi condemned the current spate of insecurity in some parts of the country. They advised all Nigerians to support the Goodluck Jonathan's administration as it wages war against extremists.
I have no doubt that at the end of this discussion, new ideas on how to solve problems of our land will be created into the youth.
Wife of the late nationalist Professor Uche Azikiwe and Professor Kate Omenora, the State Commissioner for Education, who represented Governor Willie Obiano, were among other dignitaries that graced the occasion. In Oka, Daniel Okbai, NTA News.
Over $1 billion has been earmarked to upgrade the transmission infrastructure in the nation's power sector. Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, disclosed this and other success stories in the Power Ministry under the present administration while giving the ministry's scorecard at the ministerial platform by the Federal Ministry. Meogidi reports.
It was a blow-by-blow account on the 3 key components in the power value chain, which are generation, distribution, and transmission. On generation, the capacity has increased from 2,500 megawatts in the year 2011 to 4,600 following the completion of many hydro and NIPP projects. With an estimated population of 170 million, only 68 million Nigerians have access to power. So, what is the fate of the over 100 million that reside mostly in the rural areas?
Operation Light Up Rural Nigeria has already taken shape that we can provide access to electricity on a 24 basis to rural dwellers that are cut off from the national grid on a 24/7 basis.
To ensure smooth transmission of power generated, over 31 transmission lines totaling 1,640 kV have been completed, as well as the maintenance and upgrading of substations, while 297 33 by 11 kV substations have been completed to boost distribution. The Power Minister, however, sent a note of warning to some erring distribution companies.
A small problem in a transformer and it cannot be fixed, but we want to call them to order. Any disco that henceforth rejects power sent to it, then NEC will have to withdraw their license.
The Supervising Minister of Information said government will never play politics with power.
Because of decades of lack of investment, wrong investments, and lack of political will to confront the challenges in our power sector, the efforts of this administration to stabilize the situation is just beginning to bear fruits.
Though funding and gas pipeline vandalism are major setbacks in the sector, the Power Ministry still insists on its 10,000 megawatts target in the year 2020. In Abuja, Mie Ogede, NTA News.
The National Commission for Museums and Monuments is to commence the Rediscovering Nigeria tour aimed at rehabilitating monuments, museums and tourist sites that are in bad shape. Correspondent Oyinaya Kaluoka has details.
Nigeria is blessed with about 65 national museums, 48 national monuments, including 2 World Heritage Sites, which the National Commission for Museums and Monuments says most are in bad shape and crying for attention. The Rediscovering Nigerian tour by the Commission is in collaboration with the Association of Motorcycles Club, popularly known as Power Bike Riders. The bikers will be touring museums, sites, and monuments nationwide, with the aim of raising funds and awareness towards the project.
It will draw attention of corporate organizations, individuals, and government on the need to fund the maintenance and management of these resources. And the whole exercise will draw attention to Nigerians about the rich endowment.
We actually sat down to look at the happenings in Nigeria today, and we discovered that we need to rediscover where we are coming from and where we are going to.
The flag-off date for the event is expected to be announced soon. In Abuja, Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
The 6th conference of the National Council on Fire has ended in Kaduna with a challenge to Nigerians to embrace fire safety code as a prescription of minimum standard for safety from hazards resulting from explosion. Stakeholders in separate remarks identified safety measures from fire, explosion, and dangerous situation to include prevention, which is said to be better than cure. In a communique, participants underscored the establishment of a code enforcement department and units as key to effective implementation of the National Fire Safety Code. The need for fire authorities to embark on awareness campaign and publicity drive, as well as the need to make the Safety Fire Code easily available and accessible to the public, also came to the fore. The Federal Road Safety Corps in Onitsha parades suspected fake driver's license syndicates. Details with Ngozi in our Enugu Network Center. Ngozi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Ifeanyi, and welcome to Enugu. The National Agency for Foods, Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has destroyed over 100 million naira worth of fake drugs in Enugu. Chinyere Okoye has more.
The items destroyed include drugs and other food materials found to be substandard and unfit for human consumption, seized from various drug points in Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, and Enugu states by NAFDAC. The Director General of the agency, represented by the Director Special Duty, said the fight against fake drugs by the agency has reduced the incidence from 16.7% in 2005 to 6.4% in 2012. Dr. Jimo re-emphasized that NAFDAC is still carrying out a routine raid and clamping down on the 14 drug manufacturing companies in the country.
We are winning the war, and what you see now is, in the past it used to be mountains of fake drugs whenever we are destroying at a particular location. But what you can see here today is just about 100 million. In the past we'll be talking about 300 million, 500 million, and in a year we could be talking a billion.
Other stakeholders said the fight against fake drugs should be the responsibility of every Nigerian in view of the devastating effect on Nigerians and the health sector. The agency carried out similar exercise in Onitsha and Kano. In Enugu, Chinyere Okoye, NTA News.
The Ebonyi State Governor, Chief Martin Elechi, has commended stakeholders, leaders, and the founding fathers of our state for their show of support to his administration. The governor made this known at a solidarity visit by the group at the Government House, Abakaliki. Chinaza John reports.
It was at the instance of recent political developments in the state. Chief Martin Elechi commended them and said the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party will soon overcome its challenges. He called on the National Working Committee of the party to reconduct the third local government congress or revert to the party's constitution on automatic delegates.
It is either we accept the result as a payment from the field, or you will cancel that and go back and do the balance.
The convener of the visit, Senator Emmanuel Eni, among other speakers, said the solidarity visit became necessary to reaffirm their support for the Ebonyi dream.
The small also now the draft or destroy or crown the legitimate activities of government. The people of the house will say, remove them. One thing we will take from this is that leadership is to pay more.
The group reaffirmed the adoption of Professor Onyebuchichukwu as their gubernatorial candidate in next year's election and support for Governor Elechi's policies. In Abakaliki, Chimazajan, NTA News.
The National Directorate of Employment has disbursed its first special micro empowerment scheme in Abia State. Grace Nana reports that the scheme is aimed at empowering over 300 indigents in each state of a federation.
Disbursing the cash of 10,000 naira to the beneficiaries on behalf of NDE, the local government of Omahia South, Chief Charles Ekweme said the empowerment scheme is a good development as it will go a long way to help the beneficiaries. The Deputy Director, National Directorate of Employment, Abuja, Stephen Index, said the employment scheme is taking place in the 36 states of the country and having 300 beneficiaries per state. The state coordinator, NDE, Mrs. Buchi Ojia, said the money is given to the beneficiaries. Some beneficiaries expressed their joy and thanked the National Directorate of Employment for the empowerment. From Umahia, Grace Nana, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Commission on its Unit Command has paraded a suspected fake driver's license printer along with one of our staff. Maureen Ezokeke reports that the suspect was found with already produced fake driver's license worth millions of naira.
Products discovered were fake driver's license, vehicle papers, among others. The kingpin and director of the suspected criminal syndicate, Mrs. Ngozi Onwuzulike, was nabbed along with one of her sales girls, Ms. Chinenye Ugu. Confessing to the crime, Mrs. Onwuzulike, mother of 3, holds a Bachelor of Science in Insurance. She said that she acted in ignorance, adding that she thought the product was genuine.
I'm an insurance broker, we are marketers, we go out, we get business, we go to the licensing office and did it.
Ms. Ugu claimed she joined the company over a month ago and had registered over 30 people for driver's license. Reacting to the incident, the commander on its unit of Federal Road Safety Commission narrated how his commission was able to track down the suspects with the fake driver's license products worth over 5 million naira.
And I'm telling the motoring public, don't cut corners. If you cut corners, when you are caught, the cost of ignorance is too much.
The unit commander appealed to motorists and the general public to go through proper channels to obtain their driver's license to avoid falling prey to fake. Meanwhile, the case has been handed over to the Anambra State Department of State Security Services, SSS. In Onitsha, Maureen Ezokeke, NTA News.
And that's how it's been from here. Ifeanyi, take it away from me.
Ngozi in Enugu Network Center. President Goodluck Jonathan left Abuja this morning for a one-day official visit to N'Djamena, Republic of Chad. The president on arrival in Chad was received by the country's vice president at the airport. And President Jonathan on arrival at the presidential palace was received by President Idris Deby. Both leaders later went into a closed-door bilateral meeting. The president was accompanied by the Foreign Affairs Minister, Ambassador Aminu Wali. In its stride to provide manpower assistance to Africa, Caribbean and Pacific nations, Nigeria has dispatched 76 volunteer lecturers to boost the education sector in Uganda. Addressing the volunteers at departure, the Director General, Directorate of Technical Aid Corps, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Pius Oshuyikomi, said through the scheme, Nigeria has provided professionals in all fields of endeavor and strengthened existing relationship with benefiting countries. Correspondent Runke Kolawole reports.
The 76 volunteering lecturers are leaving the country's shore to Uganda on strict adherence to the rules guiding the scheme. The success story of TAC is predicated on its being people-oriented and people-centered, geared towards human development.
From inception till date, it's been very, very effective. It's been a much sought-after scheme. What we did in 2014 was to make a projection of 1,500. That is in addition to those that are still currently imposed.
The volunteers who have scaled through the required minimum of 3 years post-qualification experience have hopes of adding value to Nigeria's image in their host country, Uganda, within the 2 years of their stay.
We know that we are going as ambassadors of this country. We're going to maintain our reputation.
And we promise to keep Nigerian flag flying all over.
Their being out there will really change the perception, whatever negative perception people will have.
Established in 1987, TAC is currently the only viable volunteer service operated by an African country. Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, John Cardinal Onayekon, has called on politicians to stop overheating the polity and work for the common good of all. The Cardinal was speaking during a special service in Abuja. Eukaria Uduamaka reports.
That was the celebration of the universal reign of Christ the King by parishioners at Our Lady Queen of Nigeria Pro Cathedral, Abuja, an annual event by Catholics that ushers in the week of Advent. The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja says there are many lessons from the celebration, especially that of sacrifice and good leadership of Christ, which politicians should emulate for optimal development.
We believe very much that God is indeed the ruler, but you cannot force human being to follow your own way of following God. And we believe very strongly that we shall overcome the madness. That's what I call it. Madness taking place in the Northeast.
Some parishioners speak on their hope and expectations.
So we are acknowledging that on a day like this, today we come to the end of our liturgical calendar.
It's the feast of Christ the King, the root of our faith.
For us Christians, it's a measure of supremacy of Christ the King.
Blessed be the name of Mary, Virgin.
In Abuja, Eukaria Udo Amaka, NTA News.
Over 200 indigent displaced persons were given 500 bags of rice, materials and cash donations to alleviate their suffering. The gesture was by the Social Welfare Unit of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Abuja. The resident pastor who made the presentation said the church is very worried over the present state of widows and displaced persons in mostly the northern part of the country.
It's targeted at giving out 500 bags of rice to as many as the Lord will help us.
Pastor Enoch Afiaye of Salvation Church University Teaching Hospital Maiduguri received the items on behalf of widows and internally displaced persons from Maiduguri.
I came here because of the displaced people we have down there in Maiduguri. When the physical is taken care of, then he can get himself to understand that the spiritual too is as real as the physical.
The federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with an international agency, Skills for Africa, in ICT capacity building for Nigerian youths. Ruben Okala reports.
Youth unemployment remains a challenge in Nigeria. With this MOU, partnership now exists for Skills for Africa to train and empower the youth, including students and young graduates.
Afford them an opportunity to pick up skills that would afford them an opportunity to be employed. And that would mean teaching them SAP-specific skills.
The Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, says the project is in line with the mission of the agency on ICT capacity building for the youth.
What we're trying to do now is to go back to the roots, ensure that for all service providers, we have enough arrangement, a proper trajectory
for ensuring capacity building, starting from the very basics.
Institutionalizing it and going with those partnerships will ensure this program can last.
NITDA drives the information and communication technology ICT industry in Nigeria, where over 15 million people already have access on the internet. In Abuja, Ruben Okala, NT News.
We'll take another break. NTA Nationwide continues shortly.
Excuse me. What people are looking for in Sokoto, we are having Sokoto. Good luck are what every parent and wishes begin. In school, in business, in life. Everybody are looking for good luck. Every country are looking for good luck. In World Cup tournament, good luck. Or Louis are come back to life, good luck. The schools are now breaking all over to betterment the future of Almajiris. Good luck. Our universities are properly funded. Good luck. My dear brothers of the north, are you see what I'm saying? Agriculture are now walk over. And 33 modern dams are ready for farmers. Good luck. Fertilizers are purchased for almost free of charge. FOC. I am talking of power supply. That power reform and make steady supply of light every daily. Let us thank Chineke God for our good luck. Good luck continue for Nigeria. This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Down for one vision, Nigeria.
A 3-day stakeholders conference is being organized by the Ministry of Police Affairs with the theme Improving Federal Government Internally Generated Revenue, IGR, Nigerian Police Services in Focus. The conference will be declared open by the Honorable Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Abdul Jalili Oyewale Adesina. Date 25th to 27th November 2014. Time 9 a.m. daily. Venue Ajiji Hotel, Gudedi Street, Abuja. Dr. James Obiegbu, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
Transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Sports now. Kano State to bid for the 20th National Sports Festival, and Craig Divas wins World Scrabble Championship before his home fans. Details with correspondent Amanzi Marcos.
Kano State is to bid for the 20th edition of the National Sports Festival after the 19th edition in Calabar, Cross River State in April 2015. Commissioner for Information, Youth, Sports and Culture, Danboran Nuhu, said they have the facilities to host the festival, explaining that the Kano State Sports Institute and Sports College are platforms for the youth to take to sports for livelihood.
People who are gifted in sport or sporting activities, who are at secondary school level, will be able to go to that school without, ordinarily having to miss the opportunity of also getting the required knowledge of education.
The Nigeria Taekwondo Federation has expressed satisfaction with the performance of the 16-member Nigerian contingent to the 6th Commonwealth Taekwondo Championships in Edinburgh, Scotland. Nigeria won 4 gold, 2 silver and 4 bronze medals in the November 15 and 16 competition to place 4th.
We are fully focused on not only winning medals, but for our sport, winning Olympic ranking points is very important, because the Rio Olympics is just 2 years from now. And we want to see how many athletes we can get into the Rio Olympics to improve our chances of winning a medal.
British Scrabble champion Craig Beavers is World Scrabble champion after winning a best-of-5 games against U.S. opponent Chris Leap. The two had competed with more than 100 players from 25 countries over 5 days to reach the final in London. With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
Before we go, it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And that concludes NTA Nationwide. There will be more reports at 7 and network news at 9. Thank you for watching.